Hey guys, I'm Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network. And tonight we are here with an interesting expose covering the Gypsy Rose case. Give me one moment. I'm going to play our opener for you guys, and then it's processing. I guess it's going to take a second here. And then I'm going to go hit the live over here on TikTok, and we will chat and discuss what we are going to be doing tonight. So this is the beginning opener of our documentary series that we are putting out coming soon. We're hoping to get a couple episodes done this year and go on into next year. So here we go. Okay, so hey guys, welcome in. I've already been live once today, so this is the second time today that you're getting to see my lovely face. I hope if you are just joining us that you are joining and having a wonderful day. What I just played for you over on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook was the beginning opening to our brand new documentary series that we are currently working on. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about it before we do what we're going to do with this expose on Gypsy. I'm just waiting for Sarah to get in here so she can come up in the box and we can hear her lovely face. Yep, Sarah, I'm on TikTok now, baby. Go over there now. I didn't want to bother them with the thing they can't see, listening to nothing. So, yeah. So let's go over here and we will be doing that. Alrighty. Come on, Sarah. Oh yeah, you got an early live. Yeah, this is a pop-up live. But I have some things I wanted to talk to you about as soon as Sarah pops over here. I guess I could send out invites, couldn't I? That would be cool. Let's just do that. Let's just send invites to everybody. Okay. Okay, okay, here she is. Okay. Here she is, guys. Oh my goodness. Hey! Hold on. Okay, say it again.
I said, this has been an exciting morning.
It's been an exciting morning. Yes. Okay. So what you guys didn't catch over here, because I was doing it on YouTube first, because I just didn't want to play it where you guys would just hear it and not be able to see it, but we will put it on TikTok for you guys to see as well. That was the beginning of the documentary series that Sarah and I and Colleen and our team are working on currently. And I wanted to explain to you some of the ideas that we have going forward for this before we jump into this amazing missing footage. That's what I'm calling it, the missing footage. We've never seen this whole thing. So Craig came up with a really great idea last night, and he was like, why don't you be the first ever documentary, and maybe we aren't, but he doesn't know, he said, but one to do it all over like Zoom recordings or online recordings of your interviews with different people, and he was like, and that way it keeps the budget down, but it's still high quality. You can ask your questions and you can get those things done, and then everything else would be just, like the B footage to put around all of it. I was like, yeah, that's a really great idea.
So kind of like how they did with they're doing now all of these scary, thrillers, but they're doing it like people are
on their iPhones,
just like the Blair Witch Project.
Right, on their iPhones. So, so what I think we can do is, this is a way for you all to be included. So we are going to, we have these recorded. All of our lives are always recorded. They're always up on YouTube and everything for you guys. When we're talking about this, we are going to be looking for comments that we can use in the show, things that we can help craft the documentary for you guys. So you may get recognized on screen in the documentary. How about that?
Michelle O'Brien. I don't know what that's about, but if you want to send it to the Tips for Good Wives.
Yay, Sarah! Sarah's Unite. My daughter is Sarah too, but she's a Sarah, not a Sarah, because she does not have the H on the end.
Those are fighting words,
man. No. Literally, that's her grandmother. Okay, so my mom passed away when Sarah was 6 and Emily was 3 and Abby was very little. Or no, 9, 6, and 3. Yeah, 9, 6, and 3. So Sarah was 9. But when Sarah was very little, her granny taught her how to spell her name. And she told her, S-A-R-A. That spells Sarah. All the rest are Sarah's. So that's why. So, and she didn't have the H because her middle name starts with an H. So it's Haley. So, but anyway, okay, guys, we've had a good morning. We talked a little bit about the Micah Miller case, which I'm super excited. I want to talk with you guys about that later, probably tomorrow. Maybe Sarah and I will get into it, or maybe even if we come back on live tonight. I don't know. It just depends on how the night goes. Today's been a great day so far, so there's been a lot we want to do. The name of our YouTube channel is The Good Wives Network. You can find us at all the other socials at Good Wives Net, and you can also find our official Good Wives Net TikTok page now available at Good Wives Net 2. Okay, and I already posted a video. I posted a video this morning regarding the Micah Miller case, and I posted it over there, and we're going to be putting all kinds of different videos over there, but it's going to be more than just true crime content. It's going to be all the content that the GWN has. I mean, I know that you guys think we're just the Gypsy channel, but we really are not. That is one thing. It is a very, prominent piece of how we built our company, but it is not the only thing we've ever done. So, and we have other content creators that I have DIY content creators. We have cooking shows. We have spiritual shows. We have balance and emotional health and wellness and mental health wellness shows. We've got them all over there. We just haven't been putting them out until we get the platform back up. But we're going to start promoting them again. And you'll start to see their merchandise on our website as well.
And so everybody can go follow the TikTok account, Good Wives Net 2. Then we can start going live on there.
Right, and I can have my channel back.
Yeah, free up Fancy's personal account.
Okay, so hold on. I'm going to pull this down here. Let me move some things around so I can get to this easier, I always pull it off into its own little tab thing. That's why I have 95 freaking browsers open all the time. Okay. So for those of you over here, you're not going to be able to see everything. You'll be able to hear what we talk about and what we play. If you want to see everything, then you can go over and either catch it on the replay on YouTube, or you can go over to YouTube now. It doesn't matter. But what we are reading from is ozarksfirst.com, and it's the Crime Traveler, and it is an accounting of this crime in a way that I haven't seen before. And there's lots of unseen footage that I had not seen, so we're going to actually blind react to this. I've only seen the last 6 minutes of one of the videos that we're going to play, and then we will.
So there's more than just the press release. The
Uh-huh.
full press release.
As I told you, this is, yes, there's 3 sections to this. It's called Crime Traveler. Oh, and this is Gypsy Blanchard Part 2, Trapped in Sickness. So there's got to be another page. I remember seeing this back in the day. So this is from 2021, and it has been updated. It was updated in 2023. So we will go looking for Part 1 to this at another time. But let me get it up here. Hey, hello, Starlight. Hey, everybody. Hi, everybody joining in the chat. Thank you so very much. We have all of our ways that you can support us, scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We always appreciate support for helping us in the work that we do here. And please, always, the best way that you can help us out is by liking, sharing, and subscribing to all of our channels, and we just really appreciate that. We want to get this word out, and this is some of the most important parts of the case here. One of the things that we're really wanting to do, guys, is we bring an element of truth and an alternate narrative to this story based only on the facts and evidence of the case files, the medical records, interviews with people that were directly attached to this, to Gypsy and De-De and the families. And I spent, years investigating and working with the family till we began to uncover that their story was not adding up with what we were seeing in facts and evidence. And it has taken us 8 years to get to what we believe is the true, probably most comprehensive truth we're ever going to get to. There's still some unanswered things. Hopefully we might get some of those answers when Nick's appeal is either approved or denied, because if it's denied, I think that is the end of the appeal process for him. And then granting a miracle, I don't know how else they could open it again. I know it's been done before after that, but if they found absolute proof that he didn't do it, it wouldn't be an appeal. They would just throw it all out, But this is his last shot. So we're trying to be respectful of that with him and make sure that he gets his day in court, that he is, that he gets the best and fairest representation and trial that he can get. But once his appeal is decided one way or the other, then we will be able to FOIA lots and lots and lots of more information. We'll be able to get the Facebook posts and the Skype calls and other text messages from other phones, the toxicology, the autopsy. There's a lot that was held back. In fact, I remember when I got her case file, I notated 20 different things that was not in it. And I sent it over to Patterson saying, hey, these things are not in this case file. And he said, yeah, because they're not available at this time for public review. And so, yeah, we've been waiting a long, long time, guys, to get to the truth in this case. And I feel like it was hell getting here, but it has all been very worth it for understanding really what happened in one of the biggest cases of the decade. This is the largest con scheme I've ever encountered here in the United States on just a regular level, not like a full-on criminal organization level. What do you think, Sarah?
Well, I mean, you know my opinion on this. I believe that they meet the statute's requirements for the RICO Act.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. The more and more we look at it, the more and more we uncover, the more and more, yes. Sarah, I don't know, are you outside or something? There's like a wind tunnel coming through you.
No, I don't have a fan on. I'm not outside. I'm nothing.
Okay, now you sound fine, but it was while you were trying. I don't know, it was weird. It's not doing it now. So, okay. So I am on True Crime in the Ozarks page here. And it's part 2 of the Crime Traveler, Gypsy Blanchard, part 2, Trapped in Sickness. So we remember this is a reporter who probably is still following the narrative that has been sold to everybody, because I have not read any of this. I scrolled it briefly and I watched about 6 minutes of the press conference from Sheriff Arnott that nobody had seen in its entirety over on Hello Starlight's page, and I was just on a live with her. But so this is, there's a podcast that goes along with it called Crime Traveler, and that's on, it says it's on Spotify. But it starts off with leading up to the murder, according to Michelle Dean's BuzzFeed article in 2012. See, they've even got dates wrong. Gypsy Blanchard met Nicholas. Oh, in 2012, Gypsy Blanchard met Nicholas Godejohn. Sorry, my bad. I didn't finish reading the sentence, dum-dum. Online. He was from Big Bend, Wisconsin, and had been diagnosed with autism. The pair met online on a Christian singles dating site. They hit it off immediately. Blanchard and Godejohn spoke of eloping, naming future children they would have together, and sexual exchanges. Let's see, what's this first one? Oh, no, that's just an advertisement, I think. Hold on, let's hit this. There's a video. I'm just trying to see if it's an actual video or if it's just an advertisement. I don't know. But while I'm reading it, says in HBO's documentary Mommy, Dead and Dearest, Blanchard revealed Godejohn was into BD, you know what, sexual activity involving such practices as using the use of physical, the granting, relinquishing of control, and the infliction of pain. Blanchard was taught how to role, characters, each with names and personas. Using secret social media accounts, she would dress up in costumes and share photos of herself with Godejohn. However, it has been proven now that that's untrue. She was doing that long before him. In fact, Dan testified in court to the fact that she was doing that with him, and she's the one who brought that type of role control, power exchange to the relationship. But I mean, I could make a case for she was, groomed into that, So, so it goes on to say, in 2013, Godejohn pleaded no contest to disorderly conduct for allegedly viewing porn on his laptop at a McDonald's and touching himself. We all know that happened while she was actually with him, and that it is likely that she was involved with him doing that anyway. Their relationship would be secret for 2.5 years before confiding to Blanchard's friend, Liam Woodmansey, in 2014. Woodmansey found their relationship alarming due to the sexual nature, and she believed Blanchard was still a minor. She tried to talk her out of continuing contact with Godejohn, but Blanchard appeared to be completely smitten. She's worried about the boy in Wisconsin, but she sure as shit wasn't worried about the 35-year-old man that everybody knew was lurking around.
Right.
I mean,
well, I think they wanted to put out this image of this is Gypsy's first boyfriend. He's more age appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
He's younger. She didn't want to admit that her daughter was having an extramarital affair with a criminal that was much older. Isn't this this is the second, at least we know of, the second extramarital affair that Gypsy has been involved in.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, okay, So she's telling about that. Then it goes on. Blanchard confessed she wanted to be more like girls her age and date, but knew Dee Dee would have to approve first. At Godojon's trial, Blanchard revealed she arranged and paid for him to meet her mother in Springfield. She hoped that Dee Dee might allow them to date if she thought they met for the first time in person. Yeah, let's set it up for a guy to come dressed like frickin' Prince Charming by himself to a kid's fucking movie in the middle of the frickin' day. And let's make mom think that he's some freaking good guy lurking around there. What kind of fucked up, dumb fuck plan was that?
What I don't understand is how did Dee Dee not catch on right away and know?
She did. She took the fucking picture, Sarah. We know that she knew.
Yeah.
It's a lie. That's the thing. There isn't, well, how did she not catch on? Because she knew. Because she took the picture. Because they were able to wheel off and go to the men's bathroom and have woohoo, and mom was just like, oh, my daughter's been gone for a while and she's disabled and I should be worried about her. No, none of that happened.
Right.
So,
but then Gypsy goes on to say later on, that her mom didn't like him and she thought he was creepy because he was there by himself in the middle of the day at a children's movie.
Right.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
because then it was later on, wasn't it? I'd like to know how much later on it was that Dee Dee made that comment that you have uncovered, to the friend saying, oh, Gypsy's got a boyfriend and he's so great and Nick's so sweet. And,
right.
It's just the complete opposite.
Well, I mean, I can see I actually can see both scenarios being true together. Okay. Like, I think first impression could have easily been, what is this guy doing? He's he's eyeing my daughter and he's here alone at a children's movie. And he's kind of off because if you talk to Nicholas, you're going to know that he's not all there, and so I can imagine that maybe Gypsy, he was like, or Dee Dee was like, oh, this guy's weird. And I'm sure that Gypsy was like, but I know him and I like him. I don't buy it was a chance meeting in the lobby. No, I think she told her mom, look, this is a guy that I've been talking to and I want you to meet him, Mom. And I think that's what really happened.
That makes so much more sense. And Haley asks, so everyone knew about Dan?
Yes. Okay. So yes, everyone knew about Dan. He was a member of their VisaCon, which we are going down that rabbit hole. I know Starlight is going down that rabbit hole as well. We are looking into the VisaCon members because they knew a lot. And they knew all the way back to 2009 for sure that she was an adult, that she could walk, that she was having sexual relationships with older men. She was hitting on older men in Facebook groups, according to sources. And by the way, again, let me state it, everything we say tonight is allegedly, in our opinions, for entertainment and educational purposes only, and the views of the hosts do not necessarily reflect the official views of the Good Wives Network. Okay, keep going. So yeah, everybody knew about Dan way back. And I agree. There's that news article where Kevin, I've never found the Kevin, is telling the news people that she was bragging about Gypsy's new boyfriend, Nick, and how she was so excited. She thought they were going to have a future together. And Nick goes on to say, I thought Dee Dee was a good mom and I liked her and she was nice to me. So what the hell? So anyway, we have a question here.
That does not sound like she was trying to keep them apart.
No. So in this, Nicole Johan, you said Nick said in his interrogation that Dee Dee was always nice to me. Always. I thought they only met once. I'm sure he used to call the house and Dee Dee would answer and she was perfectly fine with it. He stated before that they talked on the phone at one point, I believe, that he had spoken to Dee Dee more than one time. And then we've got Love Shack, Sarah. I have a question. Wait a minute. Did you ask us? Okay, yeah. Okay, well, hold on. I thought I saw. Okay. Love Shack. I have a question. We know Dee Dee took the pic of them at the movies. Was their meeting there really a setup, or could Dee Dee have been aware they were meeting Nick that day? See, that's what I think. I think so. I think that it was set up. I think she told her mom, I've seen this boy. He's a boy, Mom. He's 26. He's not 35. He's a guy from Wisconsin, and he's super sweet, Mama, and I want you to meet him. And he's disabled like me. You know?
Right. And for De-De, anybody was better than Dan.
Right. Anyone's better than the 35-year-old married man with kids and drug charges. Like, I mean, let's be, you know, and exactly. And why would De-De take a picture of a guy who she thinks is creepy with her daughter? She wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Dan testified in his appeal, guys. So
Really the point of, and Dan, let me say this, in Dan's testimony, it's literally about 4 paragraphs. It's very, very short. He's only on the stand for a few minutes, and prosecution does not even cross-examine him.
No.
And basically, he was just there to say he knew she could walk, and they had a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
And also that she brought up the role playing to him.
Right. Okay, so I'm not going to read the rest of this. So they've got the Dr. Phil interview there. Then there's after the murder. Let me see. Let me roll down here. Okay, so here is. Okay, so wait a minute. So that's the trial confession. We haven't seen that in a while. Let's go ahead and play that anyway. So this is when she goes.
Your parameters, guys, I'll just say this right now. Nobody is muting you guys. I see a lot of comments.
Okay, I don't know what's going. Hold on.
Parameters, and I'm unmuting them because they're perfectly fine, acceptable comments. It's just something that's got set up on TikTok. It's just screwed up right now. The word parameters, I don't even know what they are set at.
No, something is wrong because it's like just flagging random shit. It's we don't even have words in there. I went and looked the other day. There was nothing. So I don't know what the heck's going on. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to play this as the first time that she appears in court. So we're going to play that first. We've all seen this, but I don't know if we've seen the whole thing. I don't know if it's more or less, you know. So.
Have you had someone knock on your door and tell you that you have storm damage? Or they told you that you need a full roof replacement? Maybe you're looking to buy a home and want to know what's covering your potential investment. You may even have an existing leak or hot, stuffy attic. Not everyone needs a new roof, and it may not be best to file a claim. Sometimes your roof can be repaired or modified to fix issues and optimize performance. If you are unsure of the proper...
Take it off. I'm going to take it off.
Wisconsin versus Gypsy Blanchard, case number 15 CF755, assigned to Judge Boyd.
State Court Kevin Osborne.
Just 1 second. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, no! I'm stuck. Hang on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I want you guys to be able to watch it. Hold on. I've hit a button and I don't know how to get out of it. There we go. Hold on. Good Lord. Sorry. Let me flip the camera so I have a better angle on this if I can. Yeah, flip camera. Okay. So here we go. So this is the one where she comes in and this is the first time she's pleading. And I believe she pleads not guilty, of course. But here we go. So, alrighty.
Is there any way to put that vertical?
No, it's on no, you wouldn't be able to see it, Sarah. Then it'd be like, I mean. There you go. Okay, if that's what you want. All right, here we go.
Wisconsin versus Gypsy Blanchard, case number 15 CF755, assigned to Judge Boyd.
State Court Kevin Osborne.
Yes. Just 1 second.
Gypsy Blanchard appears in person with Aaron Menon as a friend of the court.
And what is Ms. Blanchard's current address?
Tell them your address. 2103 West Volunteer Way, Springfield, Missouri, 65803.
Could you get that? 2103?
West Volunteer Way, Springfield, Missouri, 65803.
Hey, Amendment, do you acknowledge receipt of the criminal complaints?
Yes, for the amendments reading.
What is the state's position regarding bail?
Your Honor, the state is once again requesting a cash bail in the amount of $1 million. That's the bail in Missouri. I would note that this individual is alleged to have conspired with Nicholas Godejohn and asked him to stab her mother to death so that they could be together, and stole money from her deceased mother's safe and fled the state of Missouri, coming to the state of Wisconsin. She has no known ties to the state of Wisconsin other than her relationship with Mr. Godejohn. At this point in time, she's looking, just as Mr. Godejohn is, at 2 felony charges, most significantly one being first-degree murder, where the penalty is life imprisonment or death. So given those factors, the state does believe she is substantial flight risk and would ask that the court impose the same bail that Mr. Godejohn got of $1 million with conditions not to contact Mr. Godejohn and not to leave the state of Wisconsin, except as, I guess, if they are ultimately extradited.
Any amendment?
No comments.
Have you reviewed the criminal complaint? Court does believe that $1 million cash bail is warranted based upon the allegations. Court is ordering $1 million cash bail. Conditions are that the defendant have no contact with Nicholas Godejohn. She's also ordered not to leave the state of Wisconsin unless she is under a police escort. And we'll schedule this in front of Judge Warren.
Remember that June 29th at 8:30 in branch 1.
So someone else will see you in the next 2 days, so it's fair to look at it. Okay, that's right.
Okay, so basically that was the bail hearing. And, you know, she makes her voice as squeaky as she possibly freaking can to garner sympathy, right? And then on top of that, what they're asking, they set I think it was a $500,000 bond. It could have been $5 million. I don't remember which one it was, but I think it was $500,000 bond. They basically said that she has no ties to Wisconsin, so they don't feel that she should have a bond reduction. And if she does get to bail out, that she is not allowed to have any contact with Nicholas Godejohn. She's not allowed to leave the county, and she's not allowed to do a couple other things. Like, it was just basically.
I thought I heard the judge say she set her bond at $1 million.
Maybe. I heard 500,000 at one point, but maybe the judge went for 1 million. I don't know. It was hard to hear. You're right. So, yeah, she always did think she was going home. Exactly. So that was that. I mean, I think the body language was extremely important in that, like you said, Sarah. She's trying to shrink herself. She's using the very, very, very high-pitched, pitiful, I'm crying, 2903. Yeah. Can you not tell that's put on? I mean, super fucking put on. Okay, SMPP, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. Good Lord. Anyway, so yeah, like, you know, I mean,
I noticed, I've always noticed her body language in that, where she was shrinking herself down, trying to make herself look as little and pitiful and, you know, crying and high-pitched voice and just really playing it up.
That's what she looked like, you know, like, it's all a stage, and Gypsy Rose is the actress. I mean, the very first time she had freedom to memorialize her mom and her birthday, and she did not. There you go, Angel. There you go. But she had to go to Grandma's grave, right? for the Lifetime series.
Right, and also, she posted tons of videos that day in California, and it's like she's having dinner at Sir Restaurant for Vanderpump Rules, and she's saying served and slayed, and the TMZ.
No, it is not SLAY. It is not. I have told you what it is. It is SLAV. I even put it up on freaking captions. It's serve and slave.
Okay, that's not the way I heard it. But
Oh, I've heard it very clearly. We even talked about it the other day. Yeah.
I
Not you.
thought it was the other, and I thought, you know what? That's a really, coming from somebody who is convicted of what you've done, I don't think I would ever use that word.
Either way, if it's slay or slave, both of it is wildly inappropriate for her to be saying. And it's very telling either way. I mean, not that you can't live that lifestyle and it be appropriate, but for her, based on her history in both those things, it's not appropriate, honey. It's not appropriate because you tried to claim that you were forced into BD by Nicholas, that he forced you into it. You'd never heard of it before. You said this on the Dr. Phil interview. I'd never heard of that before. I didn't know what it was. And he's wanting me to do this, and then he's wanting me to do that. Well, did you happen to tell Dr. Phil that you also asked that you were hoping for squishy ANAL when he took you the first time after Mama's fucking unaliving? Did you tell Dr. Phil that, honey? Did you?
That's some pretty hardcore stuff to be planning in the next room over.
It's not so. Think about this. This is one of the things I found most sickening about the text messages. Okay, was here we are. They're overtly sexual, right? And they're going from this role play BD whatever to straight up. The next sentence is, "Do you require gloves for the unaliving? Well, what about should we poison her? Should we?" I'm like, and then it's right back to, oh, honey boo, I love you so much. You're my everything. Oh my God. Then the next minute it's, you better get back online right now or I'm going to freaking unalive myself. Like, it's completely bananas. And that's only 2 weeks of their conversation.
Yeah.
Gross. So gross.
Gross.
I wanted to vomit the first time I read them.
Here's what I would have done. Okay, so
I hear you, Angel.
Here she is. She's at SIR, right, which is a really big deal. And they probably got their meals comped. I don't know. That's just a guess because they're there, and that is a celebrity play. It's PR rules is she could have ordered a little tiny dessert and put a candle in it. And they would have actually done that for her. I've seen her use sparklers and everything. She could have just done a little dessert with a candle in it and said, I just want to wish my mom a happy heavenly birthday. That would have been what I would have done.
Well, hold on, Free Nick Movement. I'm going to get to that in a second, but let me tell you what Love Shack over here on YouTube is saying. She says, yes, I'm well aware her sister had the ashes. The Gyp complained claimed she was going to place her mother with her grandmother, taking bets she has made no steps to do so, and I can't make a red check mark. Okay, so what I'm thinking on that is exactly, she could have done a thing where she is at her grandmother's grave, placing her mother's ashes into their family cemetery and mausoleum stuff that's next to her grandfather's home. And she could have done that, and it could have been ceremonious, and it would have been a way for her to at least appear to fucking give one shit about the mother who gave you a fucking incredible ass life because you sat in a fucking wheelchair and pretended to be sick because you played a role. That mama was your best friend. You know she was your best friend. You loved her dearly if you could feel fucking feelings. But what I can tell you this much, whether you feel feelings or not, Miss Gypsy, your mother clearly loved you and you were her whole world.
Do you think that her sister would actually give Gypsy those ashes?
Not now. No, I don't. And I'm surprised that I would like to see the other footage of what happened when they went over there to the grave. I mean, they're not going to show it, but I would sure have liked to have been a fly on that gravestone to see what actually happened, because I don't think it probably was a good happy, moment like they tried to make it. Okay, so anyway, let's go on in this article. Here is what we actually came to really talk about, and this is something that I have never seen in its entirety. Most of the public, I would assume, has never seen in its entirety. The only thing we've ever really seen of the original press conference that Sheriff Arnott did was the clip from Mommy Dead Dearest, the famous clip that says, "Nothing is as it appears. Please do not give to them." It seems that to any financial donations or anything at this time, because this seems like this is a long fraudulent scheme, right? That's what we know. But this is a 20-minute clip that I'm going to play for you guys of the this thing. Let me see if I can set this down and do it this way. Hold on. Of this press conference, because we're blind reacting here, dude, because this is not how I've never seen it. So I'm gonna try and put it here so you guys can see. All right, you can at least see part of it that way. Okay, here we go. Let's get through this advertisement. How many have you, has any of you, drop it in the chat, have any of you seen this press conference in its entirety ever before? I'd really like to know.
Most people haven't. This is going to be very interesting.
Is everyone ready? Okay, good morning. I want to specify at the beginning of this press conference that this is an ongoing investigation. And I want to start off with saying things are not always as they appear. I know that you all have most of the information related to the PC statement. So I'm going to start going into some facts that we have, and then I'll take questions. Both Facebook postings that appeared
Hold on, I'm going to try and turn the captions on real quick.
Is your volume all the way up on your
Yeah, the
computer?
volume's all the way up, and I'm trying to turn on the captions, but I'm not seeing how to turn them on.
that everyone has
Some
copies of
videos, they don't
were authored by
Yeah, it
YouTube.
just says captions
They
off.
don't.
As we dig into this further, we'll have more information regarding the details. I want to make a statement to use caution in donating money to this family at this time, as we have unearthed the appearance of a long financial fraud scheme along with this tragic event. It appears, as you all know, when we put out the age of Gypsy, it appears that there is several date of births that have been used over a period of time, ranging from the age of 19 to 23. And we will dig into that further to find the exact correct one. We have investigators working on that. We also know that she can walk without assistance or a wheelchair, and she can do that very well. We really don't know the true background of this family. We've received information that they are Hurricane Katrina victims, as you all have, but we have not confirmed that. This is a tragic event surrounded by mystery and public deception. I want to say thanks to the Waukesha County Sheriff's Office and to Sheriff Severson, who has been an invaluable resource to the Greene County Sheriff's Office as we proceeded through this investigation. We are at a point now that the prosecutor has filed charges this morning for first-degree murder on 2 suspects. You have that information. We also have booking photos to pass out to the media of when both of these two suspects were booked in. We do appreciate the public's assistance in this entire case. We received a lot of background information. A lot of information has come forward, and we appreciate everyone's assistance through this tragic event, and I'll take questions.
How do you believe other suspect got to Wisconsin? We read that they took a yellow cab from the house, but where from there?
They had taken a bus.
How did they meet?
You know, we're still investigating the extent of the relationship, but it has been referred to as boyfriend, girlfriend. And I can't give you an exact way of how they met, but this investigation is still ongoing. We'll have further information on that.
Do you know more of the timeline now of when the murder occurred?
You know, we do have a timeline. We know that they were here in Springfield for at least probably 1 to 2 days after the murder had taken place. And there is video footage of them, several different businesses here in Springfield before they departed.
Was it a Greyhound bus?
It was a, I would assume it would be, because I think that's the only bus station we have here.
What's going to happen to De-De now, the mother?
Yeah, I don't have all the details on that as of yet. De-De has been separated from their family for at least 16 years for various reasons, as some of you have unearthed by doing some research. But there's not a lot of family contact. And it
Hold on.
really goes back to a lot of...
That's interesting. Sarah, you're making a lot of noise.
No.
Sarah,
Yes, ma'am.
what are you doing?
Absolutely nothing. It sounds like you've got like a chips bag or something.
No, I have nothing. Nothing is going on. I'm not touching anything.
No, I thought you were getting some chips.
No,
or
I have
something.
cheese, and that's all I have, and I don't have anything.
Okay. I got nothing on my end.
That was
And
weird.
I can turn my mic off while we're listening to this.
That's fine, but I wanted to stop it here because he states that they've been estranged from the family for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
How? It's only been 7. 10 years. 10 years. That's it. It's been 10 years since 2015. And she's been estranged for 16 years.
I don't know where they came up with that.
Where did he get that number? Who told them that? Was that Christy and Rod? Was that the Petrie family? Right?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I was kind of shocked. I thought, wow, that's where did that number come from?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. All right, well, let's keep going. Anybody else have any comments or questions so far over what we've already shown?
I mean, I know we've heard snippets, but this is going to be the first time that we ever get to hear the whole thing
In its entirety, yeah. Okay. All right, well, let's continue on then. Here we go. Get you guys back that way.
Exception with family and everyone else, and so there's a separation there.
Can you go into more about that financial fraud? What you've learned?
You know, I can't specifically, other than if you in the investigation, there were several $1,000s in cash stolen that she had in a safe, and we know that they received a lot of GoFundMe accounts. There was some other accounts set up and some other things that we're looking into. But as I said at the beginning, things are not always as they appear. We and we don't know the extent of the fraud, but it seems pretty lengthy.
Did De-De orchestrate the fraud, or was it Gypsy?
Whoa!
Well, you know, we will.
Did you hear the question?
Right. Was Gypsy part of the fraud?
She said, did De-De initiate the fraud, or was Gypsy part of the fraud?
Yep.
Oh, let's hear this answer.
We'll look into that and see. You know, there's a lot of things that De-De is deceased, so there's not a lot of things that we really need to dig up there specifically for the case. But we do know that there just seems to be a long pattern from being in a wheelchair to getting people to assist them with finances and things like that. And that's why I caution anyone at this point not to put money in the account until we kind of figure out the extent of their deception.
So De-De was not disabled either?
Well, I can't comment on that specifically right now.
So that's important to know about that. Okay. Not only did the Petrie family, Bobby Petrie, started a GoFundMe immediately, Hot Bobby, right? And he swears he shut it down immediately and once he found out what was happening. That's his tale. I'm sitting on mine. Because I think it's interesting that it was Bobby, not the sisters, not the brother, Bobby. And then Kimberly and David Blanchard also set up a GoFundMe.
No relation, claim. No relation.
No relation. And they didn't know anything. And he crawled through a window and he changed his story 3 times, but he immediately leaped into action for a GoFundMe. Interesting. The last question was, so De-De was not disabled either. And he said that he could not confirm that at this time. That's basically. All right. So let's keep going.
What's very important that he noted was that, a lot of these questions are going to still be unanswered because De-De is deceased. And there you go.
Okay. Bobby, the one who claimed he hadn't seen them in years. Yes. Bobby, the same one that his first reaction in his first interview said, well, I guess, okay, thank you guys. I'm not taking any questions right now unless send it to a group chat if you guys are in the group chat. I don't know. Because I'm not paying attention to it right now. Anyway, so he's also the one that said he knew as soon as he heard it that, oh my God, Gypsy must have finally snapped and unalived her. Why would that be the first thought process? Wouldn't the first thought process to you, wouldn't that be, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened to my sister cousin and or sister aunt, and oh my God, where is my little cousin? I'm so worried. I cannot believe this, right? No. His first natural response in his very first interview on camera is, well, I just knew that Gypsy finally snapped and unalived her mama. What?
Right.
And he said it with such just nonchalant. That's the word I was looking for. Nonchalant. Like he knew it was going to happen. And you know what? They allege that De-De did it to her mama. So maybe they didn't think it was going to happen. Maybe that's just how they do it. I don't freaking know. Maybe the mom gets so darn old, can't run the con anymore, and they just off their mothers. I don't freaking know. But it seemed very weird to me that was Bobby's initial reaction with such nonchalantness. Does anybody else think that?
Yeah. I did.
Sister aunt. Oh, we'll come back to that another time, Free Nick movement. It's a long, complicated story, that one. Look it up. You might find it somewhere else. But the relationships in that family are not, as Sheriff Arnott says, things are not always as they appear. Things are not always as they appear. We'll address that another time. Make sure you come back for a chat and address it with us. Hey, I'm not taking anybody up in the box right now since we're doing the press conference. After the press conference and we get through, there's another video after this press conference. Then we'll take people up into the box. Okay, guys? Because I definitely want to have a discussion about what you guys feel about this. But let's get back to this here and see. Oh, crud. This thing's falling. Ugh. I need a different ring light. I've got a new one. I just haven't opened the box. All right. So we're only 6 minutes in at this point. We got 19 minutes to go. Woo, we're getting some good stuff here.
We have a question on the timeline because it kind of goes back and forth with him and her. Did she confess in Wisconsin and then you were waiting for your deputies to get there? The timeline between you talking to him and her is kind of not over.
Right. The sheriff's office up there did not speak to them. They waited until detectives arrived. We tried to get a private charter flight out, but due to financial costs, we couldn't get up there as quick as we wanted. So we had to book a commercial flight for the detectives to fly up. As soon as they were up there and they were able to interview both and also assist in the processing of the house where they were, which contained some evidence.
So they did not talk to them until you guys talked.
That is my understanding.
Where are they at now?
They are in the Waukesha County Jail.
Will you be coming back soon?
They will be transported back once we finalize all the paperwork, and bringing them across state lines requires us some extra paperwork, but they'll be held there until we transport them back to Greene County.
Any idea why she may have wanted to plan this?
You know, motive will come out when the trial starts, and I'll leave it to that for the prosecutor to lay out the motive. But I do believe there's enough information there that'll paint a picture.
What do you say?
Did you guys hear what that question was? I can't.
No.
There's no more up the
No.
volume. What?
I said, did it have to do with a note?
No, motive. They
Motive,
they
okay.
wanted to know what the motive was, and he said, "I'm not able to talk about that this time, but there is enough evidence there that they that a clear picture will be painted." He's like,
I thought they were asking about the message that was left on Facebook.
"No, not yet. They haven't got to that." Yes, it's live, and it's also on. Sorry, Michelle, we're having problems with comments. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. TikTok turned on anti-bullying, a 2-factor anti-bullying thing on my account for me to protect me. TikTok did.
You know what? I'm approving everybody's comments because they're all there's no negative comments. It's just
Right.
these words.
Right.
the
Okay.
word parameters
Yeah, but
that
that's
we
why
say.
I realized that's what it. I think that's what it probably is because this morning they put another factor on there for me. They said again they were adding more protection for me for anti-bullying, which means I must be getting hit for things I don't even know. No, Gypsy's grandfather is not potentially Gypsy's father. That's not what we're saying. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to get derailed from what we're doing. But don't worry. Keep tuning in. We cover it. I'm so sorry. We cover it all. We are the leading experts in the case. We've been working on it for over 8 years. We are the ones who discovered the chromosome disorder that proves that this is no longer medical child abuse and that this was all about financial gain through the fraud. And then when she was tired of doing that with her mother and she wanted to go off with older men that her mom did not approve of and did not approve of the lifestyle that she was choosing to live and lead, she decided to unalive her mother. Fraud was knocking at the door. They had been investigated for it. It was already open investigations. And so that's what happened. And that chromosome disorder, we're educating you every single day on the chromosome disorder. I am working on my post for today. I'm going to pick apart the chromosome disorder piece by piece with her diagnoses so you can clearly understand how each piece fits into this puzzle. So I really want to help the public understand how important the chromosome disorder is to proving exactly what he's stating right here, that nothing is as it appears. And you have been sold a lie, and mainstream media has perpetuated this lie knowingly and willingly. So,
And this is not only is this the first time we're getting to see the full police, report here.
Right,
This
right.
is also the first time we're getting to hear reporters' questions.
yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so let's keep going here. All right. And I'm sorry you guys are having difficulty hearing. It will be up on our platforms. You will be able to go ahead and watch it again. And we will even link to the actual article in a post today on Facebook and all our socials. We'll make sure you guys have this link so you can go and watch it there for yourselves and do your own research, since we always encourage doing your own research. But here you go. Keep watching here. All right. You guys liking this so far? I hope you're liking it.
Who knew her, knew Gypsy, and are thinking today, this man must have coerced, or this man must be the mastermind.
You know, I'll go back to my first statement. Things are not always as they appear, and you know, that is what's tough about living in Springfield, Missouri. That we are a giving community. That we surround people with love and finances that we believe that needs it. However, a lot of times we're deceived, and I think this might be the case.
How did you learn that she can walk just fine, and what else have you learned about her actual physical and medical condition?
Well, the videos speak for themselves.
Hmm.
You know, up there was no wheelchair taken. She's carrying her own luggage. It's very apparent. And according to the staff that are up there on scene, she's very mobile and able to move around.
We had spoken with neighbors yesterday in the community, and they had mentioned that Gypsy may have had a separate Facebook account. Is that true or false? Or that?
I'm sure that's true.
And was she in the video? Was she at all disguised the 1 or 2 days that she was in Springfield, or was she kind of hiding out in the open?
Kind of a combination of both. I would say there is a disguise at one point, but other places, not knowing that anybody's obviously looking for her, because we were not at the time. You know, the days that they spent here, you know, not till we arrived on scene is when we started looking, and she was gone by that time.
You continuously mention the financial fraud. How closely linked to the case and potentially the motive would you say it is, or why is it coming up so often while we're talking about the murders?
Well, you know, I'll throw that back to the media, because you all have unearthed and had a lot of questions, because I've received a lot of phone calls from you all about some of the story does not make sense, and what some of the family members are saying, you know, from her family, where they come from. So it's a very twisted story to try to sort out what's true and what's not, and as far as motives and how that all links back. We just know there's a lot of deception.
Okay. Did you guys hear that question?
I was unable to hear the last 3 questions.
I don't know what I can do to make it any better for you guys over here on TikTok. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. You guys are just going to have to watch it later, but I can give you commentary. So what the question was on that one was actually how tied into this do you believe the financial fraud is? And he basically gave that back to the media. He said, I'm going to give that back to the media and ask you guys the same, because he was saying that they had all been calling in and they were getting tons and tons of tips stating that the stories were not making sense. They were not lining up with stories with people in where they're from. And so he said that they're looking into it heavily, basically, and everything will be revealed eventually. To me, that is a very it's heavily tied in, but I can't say that just yet because I don't have everything.
Now, I did hear I just caught a couple words out of another 2 questions. One was about fraud, and then one was about the disguises.
Yes, the disguises. He was saying that they used different disguises in different locations at different times in their different times. They told different stories based on where they were and what the environment was. And they would use props and things like that, is what I believe to hear him say. It's pretty interesting because you can tell. See, what I'm getting here is the media was the local media was all over this is fraud. We don't believe anything. What is going on? We can't. Yeah, I know you can hear pretty good on YouTube. What is going on? We're very upset. We feel like we've been made fools of. You know, they were very heavily into the fraud and reporting this. Originally, the reports came out as a mother, as a young couple who decided together to unalive her mother, and they were on the run. Once the story broke away from, oh, she's kidnapped because they found her, the story really did change to, this is a financial fraud. It's all about that. Oh my goodness, this girl and her boyfriend decided to kill this mother. We don't know why, whatever. And they were on top of it. And then the story shifts. And who do we have to thank for that, Pink Cat?
Christy
Blanchard.
Who brought, and that was a comment that I made on Starlight's thing, or her live earlier, was that people were asking about when did MVP was said, you know, and I was like, Bo Christie brought that in.
Yes. In the Facebook group. And then it was picked up by Megan Pax, by her thought catalog. And then Michelle Dean ran with it. And then it became, you know, and then Aaron Lee Carr for Mommy Dead and Dearest. And before they ever even signed a plea deal for her or Nick went to trial, they had that documentary in the can and ready to go.
Right. And so that's what they used as the defense.
Yes. And they used HBO to craft it. HBO willingly crafted that story. They knew the truth. They had the medical records.
Why did people were asking, like, why did she get such a sweet plea deal so quickly? And why did they take things so easy on her?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of the MVP.
Right. That's why. And that's why, okay, and again, I bring it back to the chromosome disorder and how important it is to this case. You know, some people want to claim that it's just some little disorder, and so what? It's just another one in a slew of fucking things that she had, and, you know, it's just one more thing that De-De used to perpetuate the fraud and this con and torturing of Gypsy and all these other things. And what I'm trying to tell you is, no, that's not how it went down. They did not identify the specific chromosome disorder until 2011. All of the actual ailments, procedures, surgeries, illnesses, all of that she had prior to that can all be tied into identifying the chromosome of 1q21.1 microdeletion. It changes the case again. It takes it from an abuse case to a very spoiled, rotten woman who committed multiple fraud crimes, was sexually active all over, and we believe that she was even using that for means of donations and running, you know, men online, fleecing men online for money, like a sugar baby kind of thing. You know, she was heavily involved.
We've also talked about possibly webcamming
in the little community. Exactly. So she was in a world of doo-doo. And then here comes stepmommy to the rescue, just like the other day where she's taking her shoes off so she can go on the beach she's never ever touched. And here you are, you know, she's to the rescue. Somebody else just comes in and saves the day, another savior for Gypsy, you know, and another apologist for her who made every excuse under the fucking bus for her, you know. And here we are, and this is where we're at today, because this family is a generational con artist family on both sides of her family. They're all tied together.
You know, everything would have been completely different if they had not offered her that plea deal so fast.
Absolutely. And that's, again, why I'm very suspicious of Dan Patterson based on the other cases that I've looked at in Springfield. I believe, in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment and educational purposes only, blah, 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 that he had to have been involved in something that he swept under the rug. But let's get back to the press conference. I mean, I'm really enjoying listening to this. I'm sorry you guys can't hear as well over here on TikTok, but if you're on any of our other platforms, you can grab it later or you can jump over and hear it there. Let's get back on. So we're about halfway through.
Can you describe kind of some of the shock you guys had in investigating this? And, you know, at first you're looking for Gypsy, wondering if she's okay, and then more and more things start to come out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You know.
Okay, so that question was, did you start looking for Gypsy Rose and worrying about where she was, and then you began to investigate, and did more and more things come out? It's hard to hear the reporters, especially because they're talking so low.
From the sheriff, definitely down to the detectives that are on the scene working the case, and the patrolman that responded initially. You know, we get, just like anyone else, we are personally involved. We are motivated to find somebody that's gone what we think originally maybe abducted or maybe murdered somewhere.
One more time.
It's on 100.
I can tell you, because I've been involved in several of those from the detective side.
No, baby, it's 100. I've checked.
It's a very emotional thing, and it's emotionally draining. But then the discovery that you found someone alive that you were looking for, great deal of relief. And then it goes back to very disheartening when you really unearth the plot. And so it's an emotional roller coaster for staff to be involved in these and draining. We've had officers up for 36, 48 hours straight. So it's been very busy.
Any like previous call?
So basically, he's just explaining in that, what his officers have been. So like several of his officers been up 36 to 48 hours investigating. They were trying to do a very thorough investigation of this. And I do believe that's true. Like, that's one of the things that I do believe, that the sheriff's department was trying to do their job. I think they were doing their due diligence. I do think that they handicapped Mahaly and sent her in there to be the person that ends up coming out in this and looking like Nick is bad, because they sent her in there because she is so alarming. And she went in there thinking full on, yes, it's on YouTube right now where it's live, and Twitch and Facebook. She went on live, in there full on believing that he was this monster that had kidnapped this poor disabled girl and unalived her disabled mother. He brutally did so based on the crime scene. So they went in there thinking he was some deranged maniac, and she just wanted to get that. She wanted to get him off the streets. Meanwhile, the first responders that came on our TikTok back in the day when we had the old account, they were explaining to us that when they took her to the hospital, they were still under the impression that she was a sick kidnap victim. They felt so damn fucking sorry for her. They go to the gift shop and buy her that stupid shiny ass blue freaking fish that she's flopping around like this, and then she's laying on it, and they felt bad for her.
Yeah,
they felt bad for her.
And I can tell you what, when Mahaly went in and started to begin her interrogation with Nick, 4 sentences into that interrogation, she had to know that he was mentally impaired.
Well, the actual conference, I've linked it. I'm going to link it in the chat for you guys over here on here. It's on ozarksfirst.com, and it's called Crime Traveler, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Part 2's Trapped in Sickness. So that's where this is, just in case you guys want to go and watch it yourselves. But yes, De-De was disabled. Yes. De-De was heavily overweight. De-De had type 2 diabetes that was heavily uncontrolled. She had gout. She had GERD. And Gypsy even admits that she was taking care of her mother. And one of the reasons why she wanted to be free so much was, what if my mom lived to 70 years old? I don't have to take care of her that long. I guess she felt that way about Pixie Blanchard too. What if the dog lived to be 10? She didn't have to take care of it that long.
But do you agree with what I said about Mahaly and Nick?
Say it again.
I said that once she got in there, about 4 sentences into the interrogation, she had to know that he was mentally impaired.
Yes, I agree. And I think that, but I feel like they set her up for that. She went out several times, and I think they just told her to keep going back in there and do her job. Yeah, I want a lawyer.
There needs to be an advocate.
Yes, and that's what we've been talking about. There needs to be, I believe, in every police station across the freaking country, I believe at all times there needs to be a staffed advocate on shift that can stand in outside the interrogation room or in the camera room where they're watching it, whatever it is nowadays. I don't know if it's still two-way mirrors in certain places, but they can sit there and they can interrupt and say, wait a minute, I'm really concerned about this suspect's mental capacity. I'm worried that I think we need to administer a quick cognizance test and maybe possibly look into finding out if they have any type of mental impairment. We need to do that so that we protect, not only do we protect the officers and the police department and the case, but we're also doing our due diligence to protect the actual suspects as well, so that they cannot be railroaded or coerced into a false confession like Brendan Daly did, and the Central Park 5 kids did, and West Memphis Free kids did.
Brendan Dassey.
Brendan Massey, that's what I meant. Yeah, him. I don't know why I said it weird. That was weird.
Terrible. What happened to him was just criminal.
Oh, it was, absolutely. So, I think that we've got to improve. If anything from this case, we have to look at it and improve. How are we dealing with neurodivergency in the court system, in the legal system? How are we dealing with it in with inside the judicial system? Because there is a huge uptick in this type of thing. And God, I'm gonna kill my kid today. Thank you very much. So let's keep going with this, but I definitely, we need to be advocating for better representation for our mentally incapacitated suspects, I would say. But wouldn't you agree?
I agree 100%.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and play this again.
Calls to the residents or disputes
Well, I
between
mean,
the Gypsy deputies responded to?
No, not that we've had. There was rumors and there was questions from the media yesterday if we responded to calls reference theft or anything else in previous, and we have not.
And then the second Facebook post had some rape allegations in there. Any evidence of a rape at this point?
That was posted by Gypsy herself.
Okay, so that was about the Facebook message. They wanted to know who posted it. Was it posted by which suspect? And he confirmed that it was posted by Gypsy herself. I don't know what the question was before that. I can try to go back a second if you want. Did you guys hear it, or did you hear his answer and feel satisfied? Or
I heard neither.
Well, I feel like I'm doing nothing if for TikTok if you guys can't even hear it.
We can hear it. It's just I just didn't hear those two things you asked about.
Okay.
Second Facebook post had some rape allegations in there. Any evidence of a rape at this point?
That was posted by Gypsy.
Okay. So the second, he's referencing the second message or the second comment that was made, which was, I raped her sweet innocent daughter, right? That one. And they were asking, did grape actually, was there any evidence of actual grape, and who made that post? And he's confirming that post was also made by Gypsy. I'm going to literally kill everyone right now. I don't understand. I cannot take this. They call me constantly all day long.
You have no, there's.
I can't turn it off.
We totally lost you.
No, you shouldn't have. I'm back.
Okay, for whatever reason you were talking and there was no sound. But so that is a very interesting question, because he addresses the grape allegation and who posted it.
Gypsy Rose. Right. So she's making that. She was setting him up for that part of this right away.
Right.
Yes. Emma is De-De's mother. Just so you guys know.
Another thing, that's telling in the interrogation is, she spends 4.5 hours with her fishy pillow all comfy on the couch. And she spends 2.5 of those 4.5 hours just playing tour guide to the deputy outside. And that's really what sent me over the edge.
Yeah.
Before she even begins to lie to Hancock. But in the meantime, here is Nick, cold and handcuffed, stuck in a plastic chair for 16 hours. And he is literally having a nervous breakdown constantly through that whole time, crying and begging them to get a message to her and to let him know if she's okay, because he is so worried about her. And the only time she mentions Nick is when she throws him under the bus to the deputy, saying, you know, oh, he got arrested, you know, like last year for
Right. That's what, yeah.
corn, you know.
Corn, yeah.
And oh, he got an earful from me about that. I just really hope he hasn't done something else.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. She's setting him up every step of the damn way. And then when she can't sit and claim that she doesn't know anymore because they found the damn text messages that she didn't think they'd be able to get, she freaking flips on him in a heartbeat when Stan says, did you know, did they not, what, did you know he was going to do this? And then she's like, oh my God, maybe he can get the help he needs now. I was so scared. He threw me up against a wall and he told me by my neck and he made me clean it up naked. Yeah. And then she went full blown.
Disgusting.
Full blown.
Disgusting.
Full blown crazy pants. Hold on, I gotta go plug my phone in real quick. I gotta grab my charger.
And I can tell you that the room that they put her in is a family style or a child style room. It's a very common for police departments. They have their regular interrogation rooms, and then they will have ones for children. And that's the one that they put her in, was the one that they use for children. It's more relaxing. It's more comfortable. There's a, soft chair in there. There's a sofa. So she definitely, even from the beginning, was getting preferential treatment over Nick, even at the beginning.
Right. Okay, so let's, oh boy, okay.
Yes, that's why she got the cash and Nick didn't.
Right.
Herself.
Any information on the male suspect? Does he have a criminal history or anything?
I can't comment on his criminal history. The prosecutor will bring all that out, but nothing like this for sure.
Can you describe what website they met on?
Sorry?
What website did they meet on?
I don't have that information.
That was what website did they meet on?
State during the interview process with the authorities today?
From what I gathered from them, it was calm.
The Free Christian website.
What did you say? I couldn't hear his answer. What did you say? What?
He said he didn't know. I thought you were asking me. We know he met on.
No. That was the question. The question was, did you know what site they met on? And he said, no, we don't know at this time. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell everybody. Okay, keep going here. All right, I don't know what she just asked him though now. So you start talking. No big deal, but let's try it again.
From what I gathered from them, it was calm.
They were just asking if there was any
coercion, or I guess I shouldn't use that word, but she
Absolutely
kind of
not.
She laid it out in the open easily, and it wasn't hard to get to the part of the story.
Correct. Without going into the details of any statements that were made, they were both cooperative.
So that was interesting. She is asking a question about coercion. And was one of them coerced into doing this? And I'm wondering. All right, moderators, I am going to very much get on you right now. That person is not supposed to be saying that or being in here. If you cannot keep it going, that is Helen Hunt, the same person that started the whole mess the other night. You moderators really, really have got to pay attention, please. Please, because that should have never flown the other night, and it certainly cannot fly now. Do we understand? We are not having this conversation. Oh, my Lord. That's Helen Hunt again, Sarah.
Oh, no.
Yes.
So the tornado, I heard somebody say, I hope a tornado blew her away. Helen Hunt was in that movie.
Yes.
That tornado movie back in the day. Yeah, That's can we block Helen Hunt?
I did last time. I don't know how she keeps getting back here. Yes, hold on. Nicole Jean. Hey, can one of my mods go ahead and yes, can you guys mods, one of you can add Nicole Jean, please, to our mods, please. She's been very helpful in sending articles and finding casework for us, and she's offering to help out. That way we have another mod over here. Because I think it might just be Mac in there right now. So Mac, if it's just you, baby, I'm so sorry for getting upset with you, but we've got to be really on top of this with this situation that we are being accused of right now. We need to be very on top of it.
And I'll just say this is, please, guys, moms, just be on the lookout for anything regarding that situation because somebody might come in under a different profile now.
Right.
You know?
And if you're wanting to know what we're talking about, please, you should be able to click on her name and make her a mod, one of you two. Please, guys, we are not going to make any more comments about this. If you guys want to know what we are talking about, we have been accused of very bad things by some people that we did not have any participation in whatsoever, and we cannot even verify if the story is true or not. So, well, then Helen Hunt needs to be removed from here as well, please. Thank you. And then we will go ahead. If you'd like to know more about what we're talking about, Natasha Cooper and I and Sarah were on a live last night, very late night. And it is posted to her Rumble account. And you guys are able to go out there, over there, and watch what we have to say. That is the only time that we are going to address this situation. Okay, now let's be moving on. Thank you. Alrighty. Okie dokie. So, oh, she's blocking our mods.
What?
She's got all the mods blocked so she can come in and say something. They can't even see her comment. That's why it happened.
They're saying she's in here now too.
She has everyone blocked.
Hazel is saying that Helen Hunt is in here right now.
How do I find out who's watching? Can I go here? Hold on. Let's see. Top viewers. I don't see her in here unless she's under a different name.
Apparently she came in under that name, but I can't, but it only shows you the top viewers.
Yeah.
Oh. Hazel, you can't do that to us now.
You can't do that right now. This is I'm sorry, guys. This is a very serious situation. The accusations are absolutely disgusting. We are 100% just astonished that this has even come to this, and we do not want to discuss it any further. She has already taken enough time from this podcast, this broadcast already. So continuing on with Miss
Can
Fancy.
we go back to what was the last question?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to one more question here and see. I'll move it back just a little bit and see if we can get this. I think it's about
Or I guess I shouldn't use that word, but she
Absolutely
kind of
not.
She laid it out in the open easily.
Okay. So it was about coercion, and I'm not sure if she's asking whether the officers coerced them into making them confess, or if she's asking if there was coercion between the two, like between Gypsy and Nick. But she was like, I guess I shouldn't use that word, and he said absolutely not. And so I'm thinking by his answer that's probably more towards could they have been colluded to confess or coerced to confess? I don't know. That was a weird question. What do you think it said?
I thought if she was referring to maybe Nick, coerced Gypsy
to participate. That's what I thought. Yeah, I know. She keeps getting back in, and I do think it's Bree. I think you're right. I think it's Bree too. I think you're right. But whatever. Who cares? Back to this. Meanwhile, back to things that actually fucking matter.
Yes, I'm sorry. I all of this.
Correct.
Sarah?
But you know what?
Or I guess I shouldn't use that word, but she
Absolutely
kind of laid it
not.
out. She laid it out in the open easily.
She laid it out in the open easily.
Hard to get to the part of of the story.
It wasn't hard
Correct.
to get to the front of the
You know
story.
what? Without going into the details of any statements that were made, they were both cooperative.
Okay, so they both cooperated with the police.
Well, that's an investigative tool that we don't like to disclose, but we are able to track things fairly well. And I think, as anyone knows in technology today, anything that you do on your phone or computers, no matter how hard you try to erase it, it's always there. So,
Can you talk about how did Nicholas get to Springfield?
I believe the same way that they left.
By bus. So that's how did Nicholas get there?
I'm trying to recall. Did he provide the knife and then talk about how he disposed of it?
Well, I can't right now.
Okay, so that question was, did he provide the knife, and can you talk about how it was disposed of? Sarah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I had my mic off because I can hear it better with my mic
Yeah,
off, but
yes.
that's very interesting.
Yeah. Thank you.
What was his answer was what? No response?
His answer was he couldn't comment on that at this time.
Right.
Right. Okay.
There is a that will come out, and it is very interesting. Well, I won't go into that specifically until we
Said if
get
she mailed,
everything
did he mail
tracked
it?
down and the evidence in custody.
Did De-De know that Gypsy was dating this Nicholas? You have reason to believe
That I don't know.
Okay, that question was, did De-De know if Gypsy was dating this Nicholas? And he answered, that I do not know.
Let's keep rolling.
I don't know.
How long they've been together?
I don't.
That was how long have they been together? He doesn't know.
Professionals looking into or any reason to believe that Gypsy has any sort of mental condition, not physical, but mental.
The question is are you guys looking into whether Gypsy has any mental deficiency other than just physical?
No, not that I'm aware of. We will, right now we're in the process of getting all medical records and any type of records, and we'll be reviewing that and forwarding that to the prosecutor for their review.
At this point, do you guys have an idea as to how long she potentially thought about doing this to her mother?
That I can't talk about. That will.
Okay, that question was, do you know how long she thought about doing this to her mother? And he said, I don't know.
Come out in court.
That will come out
I do
in
want
court.
to make a correction on the. We did respond to one call in April, but no disturbances.
That call in April is going to come up in about 5 minutes here when we get to the next video. That call in April is the one where they accused the disabled autistic girl. She's a girl, but she was a young woman. We'll say that young woman who was living in the Habitat community, a couple doors down, had a key to their house. And when Gypsy stole a bunch of the money out of the safe, that's who she accused, the disabled girl down the street.
Oh.
Are you guys picking up the patterns that I am talking about here?
What about the police report on the BB Pew Pew?
There isn't one.
I thought they gave a police report and said that they had been robbed.
There was no, there was no police report
so
made.
It was,
nope.
So it was just, she went to the hospital and then they posted that on Facebook.
Nope. There's no record of her going to the hospital for it either.
Wow.
Nothing. The only time it's mentioned is in Beckerman's files where he's talking about how they had the incident and it must have really frightened them, but it doesn't line up with the timeline of when they say this happened at all. Yeah. So, so yeah. Anyway, we've got a couple more minutes here. I'm going to jump out of here and grab something real quick, but I'm going to let this run through. Hopefully you guys can hear the next few minutes here.
The very home they lived in, you believe that was part of the deceptions, history in the Habitat?
Well,
I think we can all assume things, but I don't know 100%.
So that was, what do you think was all part of the deception? And he said we can assume things. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I want to make sure you guys can hear it. So, Sarah, you want to talk while I'm gone? No.
You know, guys, I have a real problem with the whole alleged false robbery attempt that was supposedly made on them at the Walmart that they posted about, which was their cover story for the BB Pew Pew incident, where Gypsy just unloaded this Pew Pew on her mom, thinking it was real, you know, but she's not violent or anything like that, right? It's ridiculous. But you know that if the police had done a full investigation on all of that, that there could have been an innocent man, a completely 100% innocent man, arrested, had his life ruined, put in jail, you name it, because he fit the description of the perpetrator.
Right.
That, no, I'm not eating pretzels. So he could have fit the description of this perpetrator, and they could have completely ruined some innocent man's life.
Right.
With their Pew Pew cover up story.
Yeah.
So, you know, it I don't think people even think about that. I don't think they think about that. But, you know, guys, they could have said, oh, he was wearing XYZ. And so then they see on the Walmart footage, here's a man wearing XYZ. There he is. We got him, you know.
Right.
And this poor innocent guy, his life's ruined because of their lies. It was definitely something that people, I think, just kind of gloss over, and it's very serious.
When did the BB happen? There's different time periods as when it happened. That's the thing. It's mentioned in the medical records at a totally different time than it is mentioned in the police files of when it. I'm sorry, it's a totally different time. I got confused for a second. Hold on. When did the BB? Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. This is what I meant to say. So in the medical records, it's 1 year. It's a different year than when she posts on the Facebook messages on her secret Facebook account, Snow Gypsy, that Mama doesn't supposedly know about, but it sounds exactly like Mom and her are on there. And it's definitely two people writing. But, you know, her mom didn't know about that account at all, right? No. But that's where they posted that. That's where she posted that I took the bullet out of Mama and she's resting now. Like, yeah.
Another scam.
This is another scam. Well, they would report a BB injury, maybe if she actually went to the hospital, but there's no record of it, and we can't find anything other. We don't find police report. We haven't found anything else. If they had used that story to cover up that somebody had shot them at the Walmart, pew-pewed them at the Walmart, then there would have been an investigation. So there would have been a case opened.
And they actually put on that Facebook post, like, you all need to be careful and be wary of strangers. And you never know, like, when somebody's going to come up to you and do this to you, you know, this was so scary, and you guys need to be on the lookout for this guy. Like, what?
Right.
Be out on the lookout for some innocent man.
Yeah, be on the lookout for some innocent man. Okay, here, let's get through the last few minutes of this here.
But it's very concerning. It's very concerning that, like I said, this community is great about taking people in and taking care of them. And this is a perfect example of where we trusted and it didn't work out.
How big of a role did the digital evidence play as you're able to see that the Facebook post came from Wisconsin and were from Gypsy herself?
Huge. That was a big thing to, and for us, the tracking to find the potential suspect and then potential suspects as we continued the investigation. That was a big part of it.
What was the nature of that call in April?
It was a reported burglary.
Okay, so what was that reported call in April? It was a reported burglary. She set the little girl up down the street for a reported burglary. Not De-De. Gypsy.
And you believe that that is the same little girl that we saw earlier?
Yes, that's what I believe it's this girl that we're gonna show in a minute here. The one that the next video that is on this page. No, De-De was never diagnosed with any mental health illnesses that we know of at all, or disorders. She definitely was not diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy. That was floated to the media by De-De Blanchard. HBO ran with it, and Dr. Feldman confirmed it as the leading expert in Munchausen by proxy medical child abuse, and he never looked at a file, and he never spoke to anybody in the family or Gypsy herself. So he went on an international documentary claiming that it was the worst case of medical child abuse he'd ever seen, and he had never even seen it. Now, she says she had bipolar. She also says her mom's schizophrenic. Exactly.
And here's the thing, guys. She can say whatever she wants about her mom, and it's believable because De-De is not here to defend herself. And we have to start realizing that, De-De is the victim in all of this.
Yes.
I hate the way this narrative has been spun, that Gypsy is the victim and she basically had to get rid of her, abuser to survive. And that's not the case whatsoever. And we completely forget about the fact that, this woman was someone's friend. I'll say it again. Mother, daughter, sister, wife. She was a human being. And you know what? She wasn't even that much older than most of us when she was murdered.
Right.
And she's the true victim here. And she cannot speak for herself. She cannot speak. She cannot tell her side of the story. And it's really sad.
It's very sad, especially for a girl who told me when she found out that I was going to not only focus on her story. And I think this is where, wow, I just now had this thought process. Go with me for a minute, guys. Everybody's always asked what was the problem with me and Gypsy, really. And I've always said, I don't really understand why she got mad at me, because all I was doing was trying to protect her in the Ken situation. And it wasn't ever with her about the interrogation video. If it had been about the interrogation video, then she would have chewed my ass about the interrogation video. That's not what she chewed my ass about. She chewed my ass about Ken. But here's what I think is interesting is it was right at the same time that we had made the switch from it just being about Gypsy and the schmurder to we were going to make it all about the entire case, the entire family, and we were going to heavily focus on De-De as a main character. And that's why she wrote me a letter telling me, I found out that if you're going to take a much more, yes, she does, guys, she does have one. I know she has one. It's okay. If you don't want to do it right now, we'll figure it out later, guys. Stop focusing on it. Okay. It's okay. What was I saying? Shit.
You're going to focus on the whole case.
Okay. Yeah. So I was going to show more of a all the way back to when De-De was little. I wanted to show how this happened and showing that if anybody had caught her sociopathic tendencies along the way, that we thought she had, then they could have easily prevented all of this, but people didn't know what they were looking for. They didn't understand this. I had written this long letter to her explaining to her exactly why I wanted to go with this route and how I felt it would make a much more humanized story of them both, and explaining exactly how this happened. And that's when she wrote me back and she begged me not to make her mother look like a monster.
I don't think that was your intention.
No, it wasn't. But it was right. I think it's very interesting that as soon as I decided the story wasn't going to focus all on Miss Gypsy is when she kneecapped me and wanted to be real shitty and started fucking with me.
Yeah, exactly. She was worried about the truth getting out.
I think she also was jealous. It wasn't about her now.
I still, to this day, believe that when you do the documentary, you need to definitely focus more on De-De and give her a voice.
Oh yeah, we are. We definitely are. That's where we're starting. That's where the book starts as well. The book, the original idea for the first book, which has now become the second book, was just was to go walk from De-De's birth all the way through, and explain the whole story of it all. Because if you don't understand De-De, then you can't possibly understand the rest of the story. And if you don't understand this family, then you have no clue what the fuck you're looking at. You just really don't. So we had to go all the way backwards. We kept realizing it couldn't just be this simple of a story and you really understand. And that was what really petrified them. And I think that's it. I think she either she was very worried about the truth and she knew I would figure it out. And B, I think that she also was jealous and upset that she wasn't going to be the focus, because it's always got to be about Miss Gypsy Rose. She didn't want to be about her mom. Why would you want to do a story on my mom?
Right.
It's not about my mom. It's about my abuse. No, it's actually about your mom who you unalived. That was why we're all here.
Exactly. The victim, the true victim.
The true victim.
And also, and like you said, if you don't know the family and you don't go back, then it's hard for you to understand, because this is a family that, has generational trauma and generational
conning.
Fraud.
Yes.
Fraud.
Yeah. They're grifters. It's a grifter family. And if you understand the mentality of a grifter family, it's different than a single grifter, because from the moment that their children are born, they are taught to grift. It's what they do. It's how they make their living. It's how they function. It's how their family is. It doesn't mean it's abuse. I mean, technically, you're teaching your child to be a criminal. But is that abuse, or is that just you're a bad person? Like it's a
poor parenting,
or right? It's a fine line, but it's certainly it's something you have to take into consideration. The moral compass here is fucking highly skewed. From day one, she was going to be a commodity to the family, because they're all commodities to the family. It's not like she was being abused and the other kids weren't. Okay, if you want to call it abuse. No, all of them, the entire family, the moment they're born, are born into the grift, and they continue it on generationally, on and on and on. It's their family business.
And not only is it generational, but these families are related.
Yes.
They're all distantly related.
Yep.
So it's a family tree that doesn't really have forks in it, and it's crazy to see how they are related. And this is something that is very common where they live, in the area where they live, down there, in the bayou of Louisiana. It is a Cajun, mostly Cajun area. And this is what they do. And it's very common for them to, marry cousins. And that's just the way it goes.
It is. And beyond that, like illustrating how this is a con artist family. Over here, Kimberly C says, remember they said, why didn't you want to lie about the FEMA claim? Okay, so coming from a source within inside the family, I was informed that during Hurricane Ida, their house, everything was devastated, the whole thing, right? But their houses were not damaged beyond repair. They did not need to have them replaced, the things that they had replaced, but they all put in their claims because, well, why not? I mean, everybody else is getting money, so we should too, even though our stuff is not destroyed, even though we aren't freaking destitute, even though everything we own is not lost. And one of the source said that they came to her husband and asked him why he hadn't filed his yet. And he said, because I don't have any damage on my property. And they said, well, then you just don't know how to lie well enough.
Right.
That's it.
It's like, hey, the money's there free for the taking.
That's a family member. And that was as recently as Ida. whatever the last one was. Is Ida the last one?
I don't.
Whichever the last one was. Whichever the last one was. This last one. That was the one. The one, not this year, but the year before. Whichever that one was. Whatever it was, that one. Yep. Yep. Yeah. 100%. Crazy, right?
And if you're keeping, and you've got these generational scammers, and then they're intermarrying cousins with cousins, you guys, they're keeping the money in the family.
Right. Okay. We've got a few more minutes here left.
But it was ended up being unfounded, or
You know, I don't know the disposition of the case. I don't have the details. Do you guys know?
It was not unfounded.
Not unfounded?
Correct.
Okay.
anyone charged in that?
I don't know what they asked.
Ended up being unfounded, or
You know, I don't know the disposition of the case. I
Hold on.
continued the investigation. That was a big part of it.
what was the nature of that call in April? Or you what was that?
It was a reported burglary.
But it was ended up being unfounded.
Oh,
You know, I
okay.
don't know the disposition of the case.
So they said, did it wind up, they said that was being, what was the nature of the call in April? And then he said, did it come up unfounded? Hey, Natasha, did it come up unfounded? And he said he didn't know the disposition. And then he confirms with the officer on the other side over there that it is unfounded. So that there was no burglary and nothing, that they didn't have anything that came forward from that. Yeah, maybe they figured out that you stole the money yourself. You had to admit it so the little girl down the street didn't go to jail. Could that have happened? I mean, maybe.
I don't have the
Shh, crap. Hold on. Daughter's coming in.
Why is Bella always at the freaking door?
I don't know. I'm on live.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you, baby. How do you feel about her claiming that social media is damaging her mental health? Life's hard. Get a helmet. Or get off social media. I mean, if it's damaging your mental health and you are making money on Lifetime and everywhere else, it's not your main money source. It's not what you're doing for your work. You don't have to promote your business. Lifetime's going to do it for you. If it's upsetting you that much, then get the hell off. If it's not, shut the hell up.
Lifetime has a professional PR for her to use.
Right. Right.
But she's not using it.
No, she'd rather just run around running her mouth and sending pictures to fucking TMZ. So how can you claim that social media is damaging your health when every damn day you take a shit and you send it to freaking TMZ?
Or do interviews every day with People Magazine.
Right. Or talk about your husband in just changing stories every day about him. Could you be any more hateful to him? This man stood by you through prison, put money on your books, gave you a home to live, gave you somewhere safe to come home to, tried to love you, bought you a freaking dog, doted the hell on you, and then you just want to make him look like a horrible, awful person because you wanted your boy toy freaking kin. You are just a nasty ass person, man. Like just all the way to your core. Let's finish this shit. Ugh.
It was not unfounded.
Not unfounded.
Correct.
Not unfounded.
Anyone
Okay.
charged in that?
No one charged.
No one charged.
No suspects listed.
Okay. There we go. Not unfounded, but no suspects listed, no charges filed.
Well, we'll reopen it now, looking into the other things that are going on surrounded with this.
So you're hearing what I'm saying. So that went unfounded. They are
Now
not
he's gonna open it.
right. Okay, wait. No. Listen, it's more important than that because yes, I heard that part too, and I was like, oh my fucking God. But listen to what he says before that. They're saying it was not unfounded. There was no suspects listed. There was no corroborating evidence, and they had nothing. Okay, but nobody arrested. But during the time that this is happening in April, if that girl, the disabled girl, woman, whatever down the street she accused them, and that girl said, no, I gave my key back. No. Her mother had to come and talk to them and tell them that she did not do this. And they talked to the girl and it was dropped with her. But what if her little fucking lie landed that girl in jail. So we've got a pew where they could have landed a person in jail for fitting a description. Now you've got a autistic disabled girl that lives 3 doors down for you that's going to do a bid for you stealing $500 and sending it to your boyfriend. What the fuck, people?
She does not care about the casualties that she takes
No.
down with her.
Not at all. Not at all.
Everyone is disposable to her.
Yes. Yep. Alrighty, here we go. Jesus, it's like every freaking question. It's just like, are you kidding me?
Anyone else have any questions I can answer?
Where did you say that we're from, or you said you guys are still looking into it, not really from the world?
Well, we don't know. You know, as you can see, this all came together fairly quick.
Oh, okay. Did you guys hear that question?
No.
Okay. Question is, sorry, hang on. Question is, do you know where they all came from? Did they really not come from New Orleans?
And quite honest, we're from the show me state, so you're gonna have to show me all the proof. So we're looking into once we've unearthed, it seems like a huge rabbit trail that we're following to see if anything is true. And so we're gonna look at that and see if they truly were Katrina survivors. And but truly, we don't know.
Could part of this be I don't Medicaid fraud and that kind of stuff too, or are you able to look into medical claims?
Okay, so she just asked if that could be Medicaid fraud or medical fraud. So the reporters in the beginning are asking the right fucking questions. That's becoming abundantly clear. And he is answering them with answers that shows that he is, in fact, on that trail that they are asking. It's medical fraud. Is this Medicare fraud? Was somebody coercing her? Did she da-da-da-da-da? Was there something that came? They were on the right freaking track. And then along comes KB, and we've got a whole new story, friends.
We're going to look into everything. You know, to be honest, you know, the big thing here is we have the death and the murder of De-De. So that's the main concern in getting justice for her.
You don't say.
However, the reason why I laid out this information is that, number one, you all are unearthing it as we go. So I wanted to head that off and let you know that we're looking into it. But also, there is a lot of accounts set up to help Gypsy and pay for De-De's funeral, when in fact there may be money that can handle that may not have been obtained in the correct way. But I just don't want anyone else to become a victim until we sort out what is going on.
Were they on disability?
That I don't know yet. Like I said, we were really focused on the homicide investigation and unearth some of these things. So I wanted to bring it out and let you know. And then we'll be digging into it. The investigation is going to be ongoing and try to figure out if we have multiple victims on another type of case and how we can fix that.
And Greene County will be leading the entire investigation.
Yes. I'll take one more question.
Is this one of the strangest cases you've covered or heard about?
You know, it has taken some twists, that's for sure. You know, it's as I said earlier, with the detectives, it's a mental roller coaster, very emotional. And then you come out and go, today we're looking at some of the facts and thinking this is not how it started out, and definitely not the ending that we thought it would be. So it's been one of those cases that has taken a lot of twists and turns. I also want to thank Springfield Police Department. One of their computer forensic people helped us early on. Was called out in early morning hours and assisted us with the Facebook issue and those things. So I want to throw that in. And again, the sheriff up in Waukesha County Sheriff's Office has been fantastic to work with. Just a great relationship, and And so we're so glad there's a cooperative environment there and able to facilitate us and help us put this case together. So thank you all for coming today. We'll keep you posted as we go and let you know when the suspects are on their way back to Greene County to face the charges. Thank you.
Okay. So that was a lot to unpack. Just
it was very, very interesting. I'm so glad we got to see the press release in its full format for the first time. It was the press release, guys. Everybody keeps asking what is going on.
Right.
It was the press release that the sheriff's office gave regarding the arrest of Gypsy and Nick and the unaliving murder of De-De.
Right.
So, and like you said, I have to agree with you. The reporters were spot on.
Right.
I mean,
well, before we unpack it for a second, I would like to thank Hello Starlight. You are the one that brought this to my attention this morning and asked me to come join you on a live over here on YouTube that I did just about a half hour, ended about a half hour before we came on live here. And I just want to thank you because, this is a group effort. To get to the bottom of this, it has taken lots and lots of people asking lots and lots of questions and doing work. So instead of throwing things at each other and being a community that thinks that we need to be the one that scoops the other, why don't we be a community that works together? Because we really should be, because that's the more importance of this. The importance of this is the actual truth of this case coming forward, because in many, many, many ways, this case is going to set precedents and it is extremely, extremely important, well beyond just Gypsy, just Nick, just De-De. This is a very, very layered, deep case that involved many working people, many working parts, and it can change laws. It can change other people's, it can bring more awareness to things. And instead, all that has been attached to this has been drama and chaos and darkness created by the members of the family and Gypsy herself. This is an extremely important case. And that's why you want to call us obsessed. We aren't obsessed with the girl. I don't care about her in the least. She doesn't, does she bother me? She bothers me in the fact that she's out here getting away with all of this and laughing in our faces, and that she is continuing to behave in this manner, and we are exalting her and holding her on a pedestal. That's what's upsetting to me. She's not upsetting to me. I just think she should be behind bars where she belongs, because she is an evil, calculating, very manipulative person. Young woman,
and also,
middle-aged woman.
Besides just being so disgusting and vile, and getting away with this, and basically it seems like she's just throwing it in our faces.
Yes.
And she's also a multimillionaire, and every day she is making more and more and more money. I mean, right now her projected with her, including her social media, her she's looking at being like $6 million.
$6 million, and she's only been out of prison for 4 months. She has 9.9 million followers on TikTok, and she reactivated that shit. She's coming for everyone, every creator's money. Yeah, Gypsy's going to try and fuck that all up for you, especially if you talk about her in a good light. But even if you are just a regular content creator, you should be concerned about the fact that this woman, this murderer, is stealing from you every day that she is on these platforms. And she is then coming into our homes, and she is influencing our children, our youth. And this is not okay.
Right. And that is the precedence that I think is so serious, is that we've already got copycat incidents happening where people, these teenagers and these kids are thinking, wow, if I can, well, I'm just mad at my mom and dad because they won't let me do what I want. So I'll just unalive them, and then I'll be rich and famous just like Gypsy.
Yes.
And the fact that she has literally got this army of supporters that just worship her, and these kids that are looking up to her, she's a terrible influence on society and a terrible influence on our youth.
Absolutely. And she's flaunting it everywhere. And I for one, I just, if Lifetime and TMZ couldn't slink any fucking lower, but hey, guess what? People and Banfield Show and The View and Dr. Phil and HBO, yeah, you all played along too. And it's time for you all to come to a reckoning as well as to how in the hell are you continuing to cover what you obviously can tell now is 100% a bogus fucking story. You won't run with a truthful narrative of this at all. The chromosome disorder is a huge discovery. It's huge. It is the truth. It is the honest to God truth. It should be looked into about a study in that area because, supposedly there's only 42 freaking reported, cases of this in 2011. Well, that's because most of the time it just goes undetected. But 4 of his children all have the characteristics, and he has the characteristics.
We need to get Loki out of here.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, so we've got this is a case. This chromosome disorder changes the narrative. I don't give a shit what you think about it. It changes the freaking narrative. And you are continuing to watch a person who are like Free Nick Movement says, her story changes every freaking day. And not one reporter goes, well, wait a minute, Gypsy, hang on, honey. Didn't you say that it was a dog leash and handcuffs? Now you're saying it's a chain. And didn't you say you were chained up in the shed? And now you're saying that you were chained up to your mama. Like, honey, can you clarify for us? Because we're just really trying to get that story right. Not a single person, not one single reporter has held her accountable for jack shit. And that's wrong. Where is Barbara Wawa?
Right.
Like, seriously. Roseanne Barr, where are you? Freaking you're going conservative and away from the freaking crazies. I'm not even conservative. I'm just saying you're going away from the crazies. Maybe you should hear this.
But back to the press conference.
Yes.
I found it very fascinating that these reporters were on the ball.
Yes.
They were all about fraud.
And I'll tell you what, I did many interviews with the Springfield News Leader, and I really have a great respect for Greg Holland, who was covering this story heavily, because I do feel like he tried to report the truthful story, but he never got the truthful story. Does that make sense?
I don't think anybody has.
No, that's the problem. But he was trying. I know these reporters, some of them. I've spoken with several of them from the Springfield News Leader, which is probably where most of those reporters were from. I've done many interviews with them. Christy and I have done interviews with them. They are the ones who first broke the story that me and Christy and Megan Pack were working on a series. And so I really feel like, yes, Megan was even on the right track until Christy came along and threw her off the track. And then Christy doubles down, and instead of just throwing Megan off the track, what does she do? Megan was the first person she collected. Literally, the first person of media that she collected, and she has thrown her away over and over and over again while continuing to pretend to love her so that she can continue to use her to perpetuate a narrative that they know is false. And Megan knows it's false because she was doing the work before anyone else. And then they disrailed her, just like they tried to do to me, just like they tried to do to Michelle Dean. Do you know Anne Sophie that did Gypsy's Revenge? Because they told Gypsy's Revenge that if they allowed a statement from one of the Petrie brothers that did not have nice things to say about Rod, that they would pull out cooperation. They are all about intimidation and only telling their story the way they want to. And along comes a serial unaliver's daughter who has a jaded, a shady moral compass at best, to tell this whole story over again, to continue to knowingly, Melissa, perpetuate a lie. I can't say that Aaron 100% knew, or that any one of the other documentarians knew, but I can say that Melissa Moore knew, and shame on you.
But because, you know, you've got to understand too that, you know, Gypsy, the TMZ and people and all of these sources, they're not going to stop because Gypsy is making them money.
But this story, the truthful story, would make them way more money. Way more money. What is the name of the chromosome disorder? It does not have a specific name. It is it's a 2.75 mega instatial deletion, microdeletion of the 1,2q1 1q. I'm sorry. Let me start over again. It is a 2.74 mega instatial microdeletion of the 1q to 1.1 chromosome. She suffers a long deletion of it, which has resulted in moderate symptoms. All 4 of the siblings show specific features for the chromosome disorder. All of Gypsy's medical issues can be linked to the actual chromosome disorder. And that is the truth. There's no denying it. That's it. So that is it. And it's a very interesting chromosome disorder. And as I said, I have been on the socials every single day. I am trying to give you one piece of information to educate you on this chromosome disorder so that you could be more informed in how you understand what happened in this story. I have covered the shape of her head. Today I am covering, what did I pull? I can't remember, but I've got it all put together and I'm going to show it today. It can explain her short stature, her high voice. It explains it all, guys. So, but yes, I think that these reporters, Sarah, were right on the money, and then they were just thrown. Pew! And I think the police department was right on the money. I think the sheriff's office was really going to go heavy balls in.
Right. I mean, he said, you know, don't donate any more money to these people.
Right. Right. I mean, and he was very honest. This was a long financial fraud. We can't be sure. Don't give any money to anybody. I mean, he was saying, we're going to reopen the investigation of that robbery. What would they have found if they had done that? Then they might have found that she tried to frame that little girl, because they would have been able to link it up to the fact that that was the exact same time that Nicholas was sent $500 and some odd. That's relevant. She's trying not only to frame Nicholas, but she's framing the other girl for when she sent Nicholas money. It's a pattern. It's just the true Gypsy coming out. Exactly. Anyway, what else do you think about this? Or do you want to just
I found it that's pretty much, you know, what I found very interesting was that, you know, everyone was really hitting that fraud, and I wish they would have stayed on that.
Yes. It's a shame that HBO and De-De Blanchard and Dan Patterson and Mike Stanfield did not bring justice to De-De Blanchard. And we have no proof, absolutely not any proof, that De-De was anything other than a mother who was grifting, not okay, but not deserving of schmurder, who used that grifting for financial gain to give her and her daughter the most incredible life that she possibly could. Gypsy was given anything and everything she wanted, and she was playing a role just like any other child actor or pageant kid or anything else. So if you think that that's abuse, then you have to say that every single child actor's parent is abusing them. Because shaving your head for a role and sitting in a wheelchair when you're in public is not anything that we haven't seen other children on TV do. Fuck, Joey King did it, but she wasn't a kid. But you see what I'm saying? You can't say that just because she had to sit in a wheelchair and shave her head that that's abuse. It's not.
You know, and the thing is that she honestly, I mean, expects to be in the spotlight at all times because that is the way she was raised.
Yes.
She was raised as the center of attention, in the spotlight. She was a local celebrity. She you know, was treated like a celebrity. She got to actually interact with real celebrities constantly. These VIP packages that she was gifted were outrageous, you know, being so expensive and
here's the
hard to
thing.
get.
Here's the thing. In her book, she even states that even though her mom was claiming it was like another Make-A-Wish trip, it wasn't coming from Make-A-Wish. It was coming from the fucking donations and the bullshit scams that they were running. Not freaking at the hospital off of donations like you and me and everyone else. And they're running off to fucking Disneyland and Disney World, and she's dancing down the aisle.
Studios.
Oh, and by the way, you know that photoshopped beach thing that she's saying? That's a Photoshop. Do you know when that's from? Yeah. Do you know what year that is from?
No, I do not.
It's from the January 2015 trip. That's why my quote was, "When we get home, I'm going to schmurder you." She had already been planning her mother's death.
David Blanchard was not the one who took her to the hospital to see Dan.
We're not sure of that right now.
Well, according to the interview that person released, they said that they didn't want to take her until they knew she was, you know, over 18 and she provided
there's a whole nother story now.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm telling you. We cannot confirm or deny that story now. Because the Blanchards only lived a couple blocks over.
Right, I understand that. I knew they lived a couple blocks over, but
right, but we can't. No, we can't. There's reports that they knew and they took. Yeah, there's reports that she called up and she asked him to take her there. There's suspicious things, and we've always been suspicious of David at this point, so I can't rule out the suspiciousness of that. No,
I believe that Kim and David knew she could walk.
Yeah, well, Kim and David are who the roommate supposedly called and got her to come get Gypsy. But I've also heard that story is completely untrue. That she wasn't drugged home by De-De. That she stayed there for a couple days and then she went home willingly. No, De-De never came and got her. There are so many things now, guys. It's it's all coming out of the woodwork, and we have to vet every freaking story, like he said. You know, like we get a story, we think, okay, we vet it, we look at it, we're like, all right, that seems truthful. And then you go down the rabbit hole, three, four more people down or 3, 4 more stories in. And you're like, oh, fuck, wait a minute. I'm not quite sure that's what I thought it meant. So, we have to look at this all very critically. And it's almost like what I'm doing with the documentary and the book, the way I decided to approach it was as I decided to try to throw out everything I thought I knew as fact and just relook at it one by one, piece by piece, evidence by evidence. And that's what I'm trying to do, because that's the only way that we're going to understand it now, but I mean, we've done so much. There's a lot here to unpack. But this press conference, man, oh man, Sarah.
I wish.
God. And what's funny is how Aaron, watching that and thinking about the clips. See, this is the thing with Aaron's documentary, HBO, and the why I honestly have the most problem with Mommy Dead and Dearest out of all of them now. And I used to think, I believe that Aaron is a talented filmmaker. I believe that she is a talented documentarian. But this was her first big documentary, and she did not know what she was dealing with. And I do believe she was manipulated. But here's what I have to say. She and her editing team are who chose those clips for the documentary. And when they chose their clips, they made them very, very pro-Gypsy.
Oh, yeah.
They could have used several other clips from the press conference now that we've seen. They could have used several other clips from the interrogation video, and they are the reason that interrogation video wasn't out there forever. Like, they could have literally told us, if you want more of this interrogation video, we found it here so you can see the whole thing. But, the clips that they chose to play were clips that sold only one narrative, and then only one narrative at all. And they orchestrated changing this into an abuse case from an actual murder case. That's the difference. You're going to sit here and say, it's not an abuse case. It's actually about, that she just wanted to get away from her mother. But that's not even what we're comparing. That's not even what happened. We had a murder case, a full-blown murder case with a fraud component to it. And because that was going to uncover way too much for the Blanchards and Gypsy and anyone else that's involved, what they ended up doing was basically negating the entire murder itself and making this only about the abusive actions of the victim in the murder case. That's doing something.
They spun the narrative. They completely spun the narrative, and they're like, hey, this is what we're going with. And she knew how to be an actress. And so she knew exactly how to play along and play it up for the media and play it up for the masses. And they peddled this story to the masses, and she did her part.
All right, guys. So it's time for us to open it up for questions, because I'm going to play the other video. I will do it tomorrow. We will continue this. What
is the next video that you have?
It is the video of the girl that I do believe is the one that she accused of the robbery, talking about her and how sad she is that De-De's gone, and how sad she can't believe that she's just devastated from what Gypsy has done. They were just so, and you can tell that she's not her mental capacity does not match the age that she appears. I don't think she's slow, but I think
it's a very short video, right?
It is. It's like 6 more minutes.
Oh,
Fine.
Your viewers want to see it. They say, please play it today.
Yes, fine. Gosh, you guys. Just trying to. Jeez, guys. I'm just trying to do my other things. All right. This is the reactions to the deception. And here we go. Yes, I definitely believe this is the young girl. This is not Aaliyah. This is not Aaliyah. 100% not Aaliyah. Aaliyah is a different young lady. I've interviewed, done an interview with In Touch magazine with Aaliyah. So, but this is definitely not Aaliyah. Okay, hold on. Let me back it up.
And can I have a question? And it may be addressed in this video, but I've never heard you say it before. Can you tell us why she had a spare key? Why
we don't know.
Did she have a spare key?
I don't know, but the Blanchards did too. So why did David need to crawl through a window?
Now I can understand them having it, and
I understand.
I mean, definitely.
I believe that Aaliyah and her mother had one as well. If I remember back, Amy Pinegar. Yeah. I don't know why this young lady had a key, because she was their neighbor and that's just the kind of community they were. But okay, but here's my question on that. Before we play this, I really want you guys to think about something. I keep telling you, I started in on this about the community, and I wanted to know, how could a community not see what happened in the 7 years that they were in the community? How can a person have cancer for 7 years and never go into recovery and not pass away? How can you say that she has the mental capacity of a 7-year-old and then tote her out at every charity function and talk about how eloquent she speaks and how she can get a crowd really, really, really going? How can you do those things and not tell me that you knew what was going on? There is no way in hell these people were not well aware of what was happening in that house within the first 2 years of them moving in.
Well, and as we've seen now, there are tons and tons of little clips and interviews and posts that people have made over the years that lived in the community, where they said that they had seen her walking all over the place.
Well, okay, so that was the further thing I was saying. So right.
And a wig, and
right.
But they knew it was Gypsy.
Right.
So
Okay.
why didn't they come forward?
Right. Well, here's the other thing. Okay. So think about that. Furthermore, okay, I said they knew, they'd always known, right? So we've got the windows covered, right? We've got the windows covered with the stained glass, which I think they did that when they first moved in so that they could sell their story, but then and the house is a disaster. You can see that you cannot get a wheelchair through there for no reason. 5 freaking wheelchairs are in that home packed with shit on them. One in the freaking bathroom the bathroom. But you have now at least 2 to 3 people that we know had a key to her home. So how do you have people in your community have a key to your home when you're pulling this big con that nobody can freaking know about?
And also, if you've got people that have a key to your home, the very instant that Facebook message went up, they should have rushed to the house, used their key, opened it up,
right.
Checked it out.
Exactly. But they didn't. They sat and waited it was hours and hours and hours. I think it was like somewhere in between, I want to say 10, but I'm thinking 6. I don't know, that they had to wait to get into that house.
Yeah. I believe it was 6.
Because they wouldn't they wouldn't go in and do the welfare check. They could have entered at any time on a welfare check. I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. But here's the thing. I have other cases in Springfield with the same issue, that welfare checks were called in and the police would not breach the door, and they were not even presented with the person, the child, the minor that the welfare check was called in on. They spoke to someone on the phone, the father on the phone, and he said the kid was okay, which is who was being, alleging that he was who was supposed to be of kidnapping this child. And so the police said, okay, well, the father says he's okay and he's just sick today. So, that's why they're not answering the door. That kid could have absolutely 100% been unalived inside, and they would not have known because they didn't breach the door. And they have to. It's funny. We were driving back from Missouri when this happened. And, I'm on the phone with an officer, and he's like, well, ma'am, we talked to his father. And I said, can I ask you a question, sir? What is the protocol for a welfare check? And he said, well, we make contact. I said, and do you have to make physical contact? He says, well, we make contact. I said, so you don't have to make physical contact? Because we make contact. I said, well, I'm looking at the Missouri state law right here. And it says that in a welfare check that you have to physically put eyes on the person that the welfare check has been called in on before you can release the case. And you have to ensure that their safety is intact. So how in the world are you going to see the son through a telephone? Or did you do it by a video call, sir? Well, no, I just talked to him on the phone. I said, and so He's supposed to be out of the country, and you just believe that. No, sir. You did not do your job, and they did not do their job with this either. They should have breached that door well before they ever did.
Well, and like I'm saying is, I agree with you, but I'm saying that all of these people that had spare keys
Could have just gone inside.
Facebook post could have gone right in.
Could have gone inside, and I think they did. I think they did. I think that's how the thing, in my opinion, allegedly, for entertainment and educational purposes only, not the opinions of our company. Here are some things that I know. Gypsy says that she turned the thermostat down to 40, right?
Yeah, which is not possible.
Which is not possible. Okay. The Greene County jail guard and first responder, she said it was 60.
Because that's as low as you can go.
As low as 66. It was 66. Gypsy says she turned it under 40. I can go lower than 66 on mine. I can go all the way down to 50 something on mine. So hers could have gone all the way down to 40. But it was 66. And Gypsy tells them, I turned it to 40. I turned it to 40. Nick confirms that she turned it to 40, I believe. And then the officer says it's set at 66. It did not go from 40 to 66 by itself. I can believe because when they take the photograph of the actual digital, it's a digital thermostat. They took a picture of it and it actually said the temperature in the house was 70. Now I'm accounting for the fact that they're going in and out of the house. They've turned the air conditioner off. And that is the temperature in the house, not what it was set to. It was set to 66. And I believe that De-De Blanchard or someone associated with this, and David, I'm assuming because he went inside and he was in there for quite a long time before he came out on the other side. I think he turned that air conditioner up because he said it was really cold in there. So he could have done it just be out of not understanding why it was so cold in there, or he could have been doing it because he's more involved than we'd like to know, and he's covering up the fraud. I'm not even saying he was involved in her murder. He was, what if he's involved in the fraud and he needed to get into that freaking house because he already knows Dee-Dee's gone, right? Dan and Gypsy are conversing, right? So maybe he knows, somebody knows. So they had to get all the things out of that house that would prove a different story.
It's very suspicious.
It's very suspicious. Right. And I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm right, but math ain't mathin'. And I can't, and I'm not saying that I'm the gospel and I know everything. And that when I say it's a theory, okay? Because it's what I'm doing is using facts and evidence to discuss with you a theory. And I want your feedback on the theory because you can tell me, no, you know what? I'm sorry. So based on that, David was here. He was actually at a bar that night. So it didn't have, I want that interaction, guys. You can challenge the fancy Maselli. I'm not the, asshole about it all the time. But when I know something because I have researched it, and I will tell you, no, I'm sorry. That is 100%. That is in evidence and that is factual. I don't deal in other shit. I don't.
And just to let everybody know, a lot of people want to know, like, why were these, interviews and statements not used from all these people that said that they witnessed her walking around town and things like that? And it's because of the plea. Once the plea was taken, then they didn't even have to look at these statements.
Right. And see here, we'll play the clip in a second here. Let me put this back up here for a minute. We'll play the clip here in a second. But here's what I want to tell you guys, okay? So they still they investigated enough to get a conviction on Nicholas. And okay, they were going to go. They really did not have first-degree murder or schmurder. Sorry. They really did not have it for him. They had it for her, dead to rights. Okay. And just because she didn't put the thing in according to her, whether she did or she did not, she still could have gone down for first degree. because of the premeditation of it. Okay. But they did not have him dead to rights on full premeditation. Talking about something and acting on it can be two different things. He could have thought that was never going to happen, but he could fantasize about it happening with her. Okay. So that's not premeditation yet. It's a gray area. So when they had this thing that they were trying to determine whether his mental capacity, which is what his entire appeal is based on, what the offer of proof was based on, brought by the prosecution at his first trial, all of these different things happened. Okay. All but come back to whether or not Nicholas had two things. One, the ability to deliberate and understand real world consequences and understand exactly what he was going to be doing and how it would impact more than himself. That's part of that. And then the second part is whether or not he made a conscious, premeditated choice, and whether he could or could not do so is the first one. I'm sorry. Second is, was he able to assist in his defense? And I'm here to say today, I do not believe so.
Also, he had ineffective assistance of counsel.
Yes, 100%. Because that's what his entire appeal is based on. The fact that his attorney states, I never even thought to call an expert psychologist in autism. Yet you were told pre-trial by the freaking prosecutor, that your fucktard freaking expert was not fucking qualified to testify as an expert in the case of deliberation with an autistic person. He literally told you, you are not going to be able to make your freaking case. Go get someone better. And this guy goes, oh, I didn't even think about it.
Right. I mean, it's pretty bad when the prosecution testifies that the doctor was not qualified.
Right. Okay, guys, you're talking about the plea deal. Was he offered? No, he was not offered 15 years. Nicholas was offered a plea deal 2 times. I believe the first plea deal was 30 to life. And they came back and said no. And I think the second plea deal, and please, I will look this up when we do the documentary and I come back and I talk about Nicholas in full force. I'm trying to stay off of a lot of it because of his appeal. We do not want to upset his appeal in any way, shape, or form. This is the only shot he really has at an unbiased, not corrupt, fair trial. This is it. This is all he gets, because it changes the venue. It takes him out of it's everything. He needs this. So I'm trying really hard to tread lightly.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if this fails at the Indiana Supreme Court level,
you mean Missouri?
Does he get a chance to go to the U.S. Supreme Court?
I have to look that up. I will talk to Amy and see, but I don't think so.
And if he is granted a retrial, what does that mean for Gypsy?
It means nothing for Gypsy. They cannot retry her.
Right, but can they bring up other charges?
Sure they can, as long as it's not the same charge. Now, the fraud statutes of limitations may have run out by now, but I'm pretty sure the conspiracy, federal conspiracy. See, she said she looked it up and she couldn't be charged with conspiracy in her state, right? Mike told her that. No, she did that search and she looked it up. Accessory. No, it's conspiracy to commit. Conspiracy to commit, conspiracy to commit. That's what she said. She could not be charged with. They don't have that charge. And so they charged her with second degree, right? Well, here's the thing. I wonder if because it was an internet across state lines, that makes it federal. She mailed the weapon across state lines. She hired a hitman across state lines, basically, by the evidence, because Nicholas even said it.
And financed it,
and Nicholas even said it. Nicholas says it in his interview on Killer Couples. He says it. Okay. And so I'm wondering if they can bring her up on federal charges of conspiracy to commit murder. and
There-
other charges because it's a federal offense, because they tried her at the state level for second degree, but she committed numerous amounts of federal crimes. She's committed Medicaid fraud. She's committed Social Security fraud. She's committed fraud on the public. They can still get her for that as well. She's fleeced charities. This is racketeering. You're right, Sarah. It really, really is. And
Yes.
she's continuing today to get donations like her teeth. She's flying all over the country, hobnobbing and stalking celebrities, basically, trying to get all these meet and greets with Joey King and Taylor Swift. And these women do not want to meet you. Only Alexis, the wackadoo, that wants to do your makeup because she wants to become an influencer, not because she really likes you. How's it feel to really not have friends? She really doesn't. And it's sad. She has no one around her that gave a shit about her ever. And you know what? For that, I feel sorry for the little girl, Gypsy Rose. But today, I do not feel sorry for the woman that she has become.
Yeah.
Mm.
She's so delusional.
Yeah.
I mean, she has this idea of grandiose. I mean, she really feels like she is something special. She's a superstar and that we all owe her. And that's something that was instilled in her mind from the time she was young, that we all owe her.
Yeah, we do. And we all owe her a second chance. No, we don't. We don't owe you a second chance. You were given a second chance. You know what your second chance was, sweetheart? Your second chance was to go into prison and humble yourself and take responsibility for the actions you chose to do. And you chose to do that. You were given 8 years to change, become an advocate for whatever, a better human, and you, my dear, chose not to. And you cannot blame those choices on your mama either. That's yours and yours alone to make. I'm sorry, guys. I do have to go. I promise you I will play this. I promise you I will play this tomorrow, but I have to go because my family needs some things for me and I've got to hop off real quick. And I've been live all day, so I can't come back for a while. So I'm really, really sorry, but I will absolutely, I will make sure. No, she committed it, Yuli. So
do you plan on coming back tonight?
No, I don't think so.
If not,
no.
What time are you shooting for tomorrow?
I was shooting for an early show, but we'll talk about it because I don't know how you feel. So I'd like you to be on it because I would like to talk about Micah Miller too.
Oh, yes.
So I'd like to talk about Micah Miller, and I'd like to give some updates in the morning, and then I'd like to do an afternoon or early evening talk on this because I would like to talk about this again tomorrow night, and I'd like to talk about it and I'd like to also go through some of the interrogation video again. As we look at this, because this is what we really need to be focusing on. This is the important part of this case. I don't care what she's doing now. I don't care what husband she's on or how many, D's or fire. I really don't. I don't care. There's nothing we can do about that unless she gets charged on federal charges. And how do you get that to happen? You look at the evidence. So let's stop playing her dumb game. We're eliminating that crap to once a week in our Dipsy Dump, and it's going to be part of our new series of more entertainment-based content. It will not always just cover her. Eventually, we will pepper in other pop culture celebrity stories, and we have a variety of couple shows that Sarah and I are working on for that. Our book is coming out. We are working on it. I talked to an editor today to see if I wanted him to help out, and some of our team has even offered to step up. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get it out on time. You can order the autographed copies on the website, goodwivesnetwork.com. You can grab the ebook over on Amazon, and just make sure and turn in tonight. I will be putting out a Daybell update, but I will be covering what happened yesterday. So what I'm going to do from now on is I will cover the day before, and that way you get the recap. So I don't have to rush every night.
Working on the Durst case,
Yes.
and I just wanted to ask the viewers that we
Mhm.
have today. I don't know if they're aware, if they've ever
Sarah,
watched the
honey,
Jinx,
I
the
have to
story.
go. I have
I
to,
just
baby.
wanted to ask them if it's a case they're interested in. If not, I won't work on it.
Oh, no.
but if they are,
That's not even a question. We're working on Durst because Colleen and I love Durst. So
okay.
no.
Great.
We're not even questioning that because I got lots of things to say about him. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
No, it's one of my
Me too.
favorite cases. No, it's like literally one of my favorite cases. Seriously, because he's fascinating and the family is fascinating. It's an interesting tale. One of our favorites. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in and dishing true crime with the Good Wives. Please find us on all social medias at the Good Wives or at Good Wives Net. You can find me here at Spicy Red 92. You can find Sarah at
Sadie Beth 1.
And
guys, please go to the Good Wives Net 2 TikTok page so that we can get 1,000 followers there and start going live. And then this way we can let Fancy free up for a personal page.
and you'll get to see all of the other content creators that we work with. So it is going to be fun. So thanks for tuning in and dishing true crime with the Good Wives, serving true crime one dish at a time. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.